Hello, MoB family. How's everyone doing today? Good morning. Good morning. Oh, wow. It's a great day today. Where's my opener? I see you there. I see you back there. Come on.
Hello.
Wait. Let me get a few words in. No, you're getting too tall for the camera. Let me see if I can raise it just a bit. Put your head in there. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Chris, aren't you supposed to be in the hospital? I was just going to go wish you a fantastic, quick back procedure that relieves all your pain and speedy recovery and everything. All right, open us up, opener. Go.
Hello, and welcome to MoB Kaffeeklatsch show episode 124. And enjoy the show.
Thank you, opener. It was fantastic. Please close the screen behind you. Thank you. Let me pull stuffed peaches into the corner. There he goes. All right. All right, let me say good morning to everyone. Good morning, Chris. I know you're going to be in spirit today. I wish you a quick, effortless procedure and a speedy recovery and a lot of rest, and everything goes well. Good morning, Connie. Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Enid. Hello, Laura. Good morning. Anthony, good morning. Let's see who else. Audrey, good morning. Paige, good morning. Let's see who's else. All right, everyone else is everyone's pretty much here. How are we all doing today? I am hot, but that's to be expected. It's the midst of summer here. Drinking my coffee and enjoying the great company. Dan, how are you today? Dan, okay, I saw Operation Fortune. I was disappointed. I'm a huge Guy Ritchie fan. And that one was like, okay, it wasn't Statham, or actually it was just the female actress in that movie. She just didn't fit for the movie. Welcome, Chris. Good morning, Mary Beth. Other than that, Dan, it was okay. But the female actress, oh my God, talk about kind of a miscast. She was trying to be snarky, but it didn't really work. And yeah, sorry. But it's a Guy Ritchie film, so I'm going to recommend it. But it's not one of the better ones. Also, I think it was because I had recently just seen The Gentleman, the other Guy Ritchie, the most recent Guy Ritchie film, and they can't compare. And what did we see for The Gentleman? The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Yeah, we saw that too, and that one I like that one, huh? The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is not the same thing as The Gentleman. No, it's two different movies. One's with Mr. All Right, McConaughey, and the other one is with Henry Cavill. Good morning, Jasmine. If you can say hello to Stacy, please do. Welcome, Chris. Okay, so those two movies. So Operation Fortune, I was, we had to cleanse our palate with, what was it, Megaboa? Megaboa was, yeah. Megaboa, you know what to expect with something like Megaboa. Operation Fortune was trying to be serious, but I couldn't take it seriously. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, it was fun for what it was, yeah. The cast was good. I liked it. Operation Fortune, more miss than hit, but that's just my opinion. You know, your mileage may vary. So there's that. So how's everyone today? Let me start going down the shout outs. So shout out to everyone on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Hope you're all doing well out there in YouTube world. So I'm going to say real quick so you guys know what my entrance into YouTube is. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So help us get there. Spread the word. And we're on at YouTube, Bitten Peaches Publishing on YouTube. So get us there and help us get to 1,000. It would be awesome. That's our first milestone is 1,000. What are we up to now? Are we at 300? 370. That's good. Okay, we're trying to get to 1,000. You guys can help us do that. And I've been working on a format to just have a larger presence on YouTube, and I'll be doing that shortly. Let's see, hold on. This is our link to YouTube. So that's our YouTube link. Please share that, and share that with everyone that you know, and have them go subscribe and share and hit the notification bell so that way they know when we have our shows, like right now. The Ungentlemanly Warfare is violent, though, Heather. If you don't like it's a little bloody. So if you don't like that, I wouldn't watch it. But other than that, it's well written, you know. Yeah, she was Josh Hartnett. Hugh Grant was really good. But in The Gentleman, Hugh Grant he stole that movie in The Gentleman. His character was so good. And let's see, in The Gentleman, it was between Hugh Grant and Matthew McConaughey, but Hugh Grant really kind of stole that show, you know. Especially since in The Gentleman, the story is kind of told through Hugh Grant, which was excellent. And the guy from Sons of Anarchy, I forgot, Charlie Hunnam, I think it is. He's also excellent in that movie. I mean, most of the cast in The Gentleman is fantastic. Oh, Colin Farrell is fantastic. Okay, how's Outcast doing? What's the context for that question, Chris? It's doing fantastic on Amazon. In my head, it's doing great. I'm at 200. We are at 287 ratings on Amazon, which blows my mind because it just came out. Let's see when it came out. It came out July 27th, so it's like it's doing ridiculously well. So in sales, it's doing fantastic. It's insane. But I think I don't know what it is. I think it's because it's just Monty and Strong at this point. I don't know how to explain it anymore. I think it's Monty and Strong, the mob, the readers that love Monty and Strong just do that. And I always say I'm awed by the readers. And you know, Dolly looks at me and goes, yeah, okay. And she rolls her eyes like, really? Like you haven't said this hasn't happened before. But each time I'm awed. It's amazing because it drops, right? Let's say I put out the 27th. By the 28th, it has an orange sticker on, you know, and we could all say this is artificial and but it's fun. It's like a game, and it gets its orange sticker. It gets best, and then when it gets bestseller, it's even more fun because it doesn't happen very often. The new release, the books almost get every time. The bestsellers, different category, so it's fun to see those as well. But you guys are amazing. When a Monty and Strong story comes out, you guys just blow it up. And it's been at new release since it dropped, which is incredible. Yeah. Yeah, Heather, you're gonna see Alan. What's his name? The guy who played Reacher, Alan Richmond. I think it's Alan Richmond. It's good. Richson. Alan Richson. He's very good in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. That's what I liked about that story. That it was a true story. Because when they started showing the ending of that, and they started showing the real players like Gus, the Henry Cavill character, and the Alan Richardson character, and the female character, forgot her name, but they started saying that these were all real people. That would made it even more impressive. Correct. Yeah. More impressive, Dolly. Much more impressive. I was like, wow. Because in my head, right, as a writer, I'm thinking these were classified operations that just came to light recently, not that long ago. Could you imagine what the other things that happened that were probably still classified? And that some of I think there was a character in there that actually Ian Fleming was in there, and that one of the characters is what ended up becoming Bond. So you imagine all the stuff that kind of happened that created that character of Bond that Ian Fleming used because he was a real life kind of spy thing. Amazing stuff. So that movie was fantastic. It was a typical kind of Guy Ritchie awesome movie. Operation Fortune. Yeah, it was more missed than hit, but it was still fun up until the point where it started just becoming what are we doing here? What are we doing? And it was like, okay, can't. It was did not finish, right? DNF, we did not finish that one. Did not finish Operation Fortune. Because it got to the point where everybody just started looking like, yeah, no, this isn't gonna work. But other than that, it was good. Now, I don't think Dolly has watched The Gentleman. Have you watched The Gentleman? Oh, okay. I've been torturing Dolly with Guy Ritchie movies. So she watched The Ministry. What else did we watch? You watched Operation Fortune was horrible. I'm sorry, but you sat through that valiantly. You sat through that. What else have you seen? Any other Guy Ritchie movies? No, right? You haven't watched Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. No. Oh, okay. I gotta start her there. Lock, Stock, and Smoking Barrels. I gotta. You're gonna have a fun. That's a fun movie. That one's a fun one. Okay, so we'll do that. Huh? Yeah, that's one of the first. That was the one that kind of put Guy Ritchie on the map. And then we'll watch. But I think we'll watch The Gentleman more because first, and then Lock, Stock, because it's just he has a very specific way of directing, and it seems slow, but it's very complex and it's almost like a book in a way. You think about it, it's a lot of characters, backstory, all this kind of stuff is happening, and that most of the times, I would say more than less, his movies hit. They do really well. He gets great casting. In The Gentleman, it's really McConaughey who really kind of carries that movie, but Hugh Grant is really fun. So he wasn't that fun in Operation Fortune. Hugh Grant. I could. It was like, Could Jason Statham play Monty in a Guy Ritchie directed M&S movie series? No, he's too rough for Monty. He doesn't. Monty is more what you would consider English bred. Like, he went to all the best schools, and he's not that. He doesn't look. Jason Statham looks more like he could be a thug, and Monty doesn't look like a thug. You know what I mean? It's a certain look. And I'm sure Jason Statham cleans up well, but even when he cleans up well, he still looks a little rough around the edges. It's more a Benedict Cumberbatch that you need. That would be a better Monty, because he looks a little bit more sophisticated. So definitely, yeah. Nah, Daniel Craig has the same thing as Jason Statham. I've seen parts of the King Arthur, but I haven't watched Guy Ritchie's King Arthur. But what made the last Bonds really attractive and appealing is that they stepped away from the polished look of James Bond, and they went into Daniel Craig, who was a little bit more rough around the edges and a little bit more human and a little bit more flawed. And that's why the Daniel Craig Bond worked so well, because he looked flawed. He was flawed. Prior to Daniel Craig, all the Bonds were very polished, very suave, very debonair, very ladies' man. And Daniel Craig looked more like an everyman and a little more flawed, a little rough around the edges, and he wasn't as put together as the previous Bonds. And that's what made it work really well. And you got to see him. He was older. He wasn't really in top shape. He wasn't as fit as he needed to be, that kind of thing. So it worked. Hugh Grant can't be Dex. No. Dex is you know who would be a good Dex? Ian McShane would be a good Dex. Who else would be a good Dex? The character Dex it's hard to describe him, but if you saw, let's see, what's this actor that he was in one of the X-Men movies, and I'll find the character for you, but he was a bad guy. Brian Cox, exactly, Paige. He was a bad guy in an X-Men movie, and he has the build that would make him a great Dex, So that Brian Cox is a perfect Dex. Perfect Dex. If you want to channel an actor for Dex, it would be Brian Cox, for sure. Amanda Jack Black would be a better Dex with the Morgan. No, you can't take Jack Black seriously, because you always see him as comedic, and Dex has to have some I would say gravitas, you have to be able to take him seriously and as a danger, as a menace. I can never see Jack Black seriously. So Angelina Jolie as the Morrigan, no. Even after Maleficent, I don't see her as the Morrigan. She doesn't sell it for me. But that's just my opinion. Let's see. No. Brian Cox, Heather. Brian Cox. Or Ian McShane. Ian McShane is also very good as that. Would be very good as Dex. But I think Brian Cox is a little closer to what Dex would be like. He could be very tongue-in-cheek. He can be very funny. He can not take himself that seriously, but if he needs to get dangerous, he can. And he can also have that feeling of the uncle also. Ian McShane is a little bit more serious. What is Gurpreet saying? I'm loving Outcast. I haven't finished reading it yet, so no spoilers. We don't do spoilers, Gurpreet. Don't worry. But this book already has two of the most memorable lines of the whole 20. Well, you can share the lines, Gurpreet, but we won't spoil the book. There are a lot of At this point, there are a lot of lines that are very memorable in most of the books. I think we should just do that one day. What's your most memorable line of the M&S books? I would see her more as Roxanne than the Morgan. The Morgan has to have a very kind of specific look, and Angelina Jolie doesn't really sell it for me. I mean, she's great in other roles, but not as the Morgan, because the Morgan has to have fearsome too. She has to have an aura of fear around her, but also like I wouldn't want to mess with her kind of thing, you know. Chris, we got rain. We've had rain for the last 2-3 days, and wind. This morning, when I was parking the car, I nearly got blown away by the wind. It was really, really strong, you know. But other than that, I hope you guys, everyone else, is okay. I know you guys in the other parts of the country are getting hit by Debbie, so please be safe, you know. Oh, Paige put up a Dex, Brian Cox Dex. So if you want to click on it, you can. I can't click on it here we'll save it for later, Paige. Goopy says, how do you do this? It's like you're writing about two real life people. Yeah, that's the whole point, isn't it? I have them here, they're in the closet, and I let them out just when I write a book. You know who I like for Dex? And I realized Tom Ellis. I like Tom Ellis and Lucifer. He was excellent, but he's too young to be Dex. He could switch from light to dark and back again on a dime. Yeah, he's an excellent, I want to say, character actor, I guess, but he was very good. He could be lighthearted, and then in one moment, in the next moment, he could be really dangerous and convey that well. So yes, Tom Ellis is excellent, but he's too young for Dex. He would be a good. If we had other characters that were like more dark than light, he would be good for that, but not for many of the main characters. Anthony's on his third read of Outcast, and it makes me wonder where. And Monty and Strong are now in terms of power scaling, as opposed to the beginning of the series. That's a good question. I've considered that, but I haven't sat down and said, okay, now in the beginning they were this level, and now they're this level, because there've been so many back and forths and changes in terms of power level, especially with Monty. Monty's kind of been very erratic back and forth. Simon has been a little bit more linear because he kind of started from zero, and so he's been growing incrementally. And but Monty has had like spikes and then reversals and then kind of mini spikes and then reversals again. So it's not been so linear for Monty. It's a little bit more circuitous, as we say. Yeah. So that's those are my thoughts in terms of the movies. Ina says, I just like action movies. Action movies are great. Angelica Houston for who? For the Morgan? I can see Angelica Houston playing it off, but she's a little too old to be. The Morgan has to be kind of timeless, and so she wouldn't fit well. She kind of has the feel, but she was great in, well, obviously great in Addams Family, but she was also great in John Wick as the head of the ballet school. She was really good as playing the lead of the ballet school. So it's possible, but. And this is I guess this is a typecasting of acting, that the men can be old and still carry these roles, but the women have to be younger. And so, and it shouldn't be that way, but it is. If you notice, there aren't that many older women playing like main roles in Hollywood. After they get to a certain age, they kind of relegate them to the mom, the aunt, whatever. So for the Morgan, it has to be a woman who looks timeless, but she could be older. So that would be fine. But I don't know if Angelica Houston, she's too known for her Morticia Addams. And even now in the ballet, in John Wick, she did really well. She really did well as the ballet leader, director. Let's see, Morena Baccarin for the Morgan. Maybe, yeah. Speaking of which, I saw Deadpool and Wolverine yesterday, and Morena Baccarin was in that. So yeah, maybe. But again, it's an age thing. It's weird for the Morgan. You got to have a certain look. Okay, so Gupri says, as an aside, this is an aside, and you've probably already discussed it in a previous coffee clutch. Maybe. Let's see. Since the movie's been out for a couple of weeks, but talk about Wolverine as a patron saint of badass. Well, he is. I mean, come on, it's Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine was the best Wolverine movie ever. Finally, the Wolverine. Yeah, this is the Wolverine from the comics. If you grew up reading the comics, this is Wolverine is going to resonate with your memory of what Wolverine should be. Not the movies prior, but this Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine resonates with you as a comic book reader if you grew up with that Wolverine. It really was an excellent movie. I enjoyed it. I went with the Warrior Child, and he and I really liked it. Dan says, as I said, Outcast is a tour de force of a book, and things are getting real. Yeah, it was great to see TK and LD in action again. And Gray is always fun. I always enjoy having Gray in a story. And yeah, I'm gonna leave that there because then I'm gonna get into tangents that I can't get into right now. But having Gray in a story is always a plus, always. And the fact that we were able to visit the Abyss and do some things near the Abyss was excellent. Yeah. See, I have a soft spot for Helen Mirren because she's just a fantastic actress, and she stole both movies, Red and Red 2, and she does it really well. And she just has a certain elegance about her that as an actress, she's pretty timeless. And she'd have, but I mean, if she wanted to, I think she could pull off the Morgan, but I guess she'd have to dye her hair black. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. She could probably do it with gray hair or white hair, but she can act. She's a great, as I say, actor. So I can see her pulling that off for sure. She stole it in Red. In Red and Red 2, she was like, whoa. I think she was in one of the Fast and the Furious too. She was the mom of one of the antagonists, and she was incredible. And anything that she's in, she's really good. So I can definitely see them. Yeah. So I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it or who plans to see it. But Deadpool and Wolverine, if you know, okay, I'll put it to you like this. If you like Deadpool 1 and 2, you will love Deadpool and Wolverine, period. I would recommend watching Loki because the TVA figures heavily in this movie. And if you don't know what the TVA, the Time Variance Authority, or that whole backstory with Loki and Elias and the Void, you should watch the Loki season. I think it's season 1, maybe season 1 and season 2. But you should watch the Loki show that was on Disney, and that's going to give you some much needed backstory so you can understand the movie more. Yes, Kate Blanchett can pull it off really well, and Kate Blanchett as Hel in the Thor movie does a very good approximation of what the Morgan would look like. She's a really good actress as well. Rufus Sewell, I liked him in Dark City. I can't see him as Dex. It's not. If you see Brian Cox, his build and his aura and the way he is, you'll see why. Mads Mikkelsen doesn't bring it either. He's not convincing as an older. I mean, he's a fantastic actor. Don't get me wrong. He's a great actor, but he's not. Mads doesn't bring the Dex feel. Yeah. Let's see. Gray's concentrated death wish is now on my wish. Listen, if you tried that death wish, Anthony, you better have an ambulance outside for the heart palpitations you're gonna get. I'm just letting you know. Tangents. I like tangents. I like Satsumas, but seriously, yes, the man. He is approaching though. He is. So just so you know, for those of you that know, you know, but he is approaching. Yes, Deadpool and Wolverine. Anthony says, made my comic book collector inner child squeak. I was definitely squealing when that Wolverine came out. I was like, yes, finally a Wolverine that's like the Wolverine I grew up with. Yes. Mads for Hades, I could see. Definitely, Heather. Yes, I can see it for Hades. He would be an excellent Hades, actually, for sure. Oh, and you grew up, if Kanye, if you grew up reading Deadpool, then this movie, this Deadpool Wolverine is the movie you have been waiting for. And I had all the Wolverine comics. I collected all of them from number one on when he went on his own adventures. Silk is always the man. We know that. Those who know. We're gonna have to form the Silk Coalition for sure. Yeah, Michelle, exactly. If Anthony, if you drink that, better have a defibrillator nearby, just because your heart is going to go like 800 beats per minute. So just remember that, because that Death Wish that Gray drinks is beyond. Well, it's like it was like in the way it's depicted in the book, the way he gave Simon a Demitas cup, and Simon's like, "Oh, you kidding me?" And then Simon was starting to see sounds and hear colors. That's basically what that Death Wish would do to you. Um, I haven't gone so far as to make Gray's Death Wish, but I have made other Death Wish where using Death Wish to make Death Wish. That's I don't recommend it. If you plan to sleep and if you plan to have a regular heartbeat and if anytime soon, I don't recommend making that kind of Death Wish. It is really strong. I'm not kidding when I say it's strong. The first time I had Death Wish, I didn't sleep for 2 nights. And I made the mistake of I got it in the afternoon and I made it in the evening, and I said, okay, I'm going to just make this coffee. How strong can it possibly be? I get it. Yeah, Death Wish. This sounds like Death Wish hype, you know? And then, yeah, they put this warning label on the packaging. Right. Okay. Yeah, let's hype it up even more. I didn't sleep for 2 nights because it's just that strong. So if you're going to drink Death Wish, I know a lot of the mob drinks Death Wish because we're just crazy that way. But if you're going to drink Death Wish, don't modify it by doing the Death Wish that you see in the book, because that's too much. It's too much caffeine. And caffeine in that kind of concentrated level can really be dangerous. So just I'm giving you the heads up now. Don't go that far. Okay. Yeah. Some of those comics are amazing. Yeah, and I have them. I just got to make sure that I can access them because they're in the hands of some of the progeny. So they might have to come back. But those comics are in all my comics were in plastic bags and then in paper bags and then separated in pristine condition. So yeah. Kanye, I'm glad you saw it twice already because it's really that good. And when it comes out on Netflix or Amazon, wherever it comes out, I'm going to watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again. I'm not gonna make Dolly watch it because it really is heavy on the cursing and it's really like over the top and the blood and the gore, and that's not her. That's not her. She doesn't enjoy that kind of stuff. So, but I'll make her watch The Gentleman. I think she'll like that. Death Wish brewed with Death Wish is the basis for Breyer's Iron Valkyrie. Yeah, that's a dangerous cup of coffee. Let me continue down the shout outs. All right. We're also on Instagram. I haven't posted on Instagram because my brain has been mushy after writing Outcast because I need a period of de-stressing and kind of resetting after I write a book. Although I'm kind of in between two projects right now. So thank you, Dolly. This is our Instagram link. So go there and you'll find little excerpts from the books and from the stories, and that's what we do on Instagram. So follow us there, and same thing. Just let's increase our presence on Instagram. Follow us there, and share that link with people and let them know. Yeah, that won't convince Dolly that the Deadpool movie is Disney, because that's one of the few, if not the only, besides the other Deadpool movies, where Disney does a rated R movie, and the last one, Wolverine and Deadpool, is really rated R. That is a rated R all the way. We're also on M&S, so we've got swag. There's some. Can we show the stickers yet or no? So we're getting these. Okay, Dolly's just going. She's batting 1,000. So here's some stickers that we've just got made. So here's a sticker. Look at that. Look at the work on this. The color. This is a sticker. It's amazing. Okay, that's one, and then This is another. Check this out. I'm going to have these stickers all over the place. That's another one. The stickers are incredible. Look at that. And then here's another one. These guys, you guys should all know what this one is. It's hard to read the text a little bit, but this is the Kaffeeklatsch logo because we're awesome that way. You don't have to make that text a little darker, maybe, because you can't see, you lose it in all the glitter. It's amazing, but it's still an amazing sticker. So there's a bunch of stuff at Zazzle at M&S, so EMANDES. Go there. Do we have a link for the Zazzle? So once our technical difficulties are unglitched, then we'll go. I'll put the link up. But yeah, that's exactly what I thought at first. I need a trapper keeper to put my stickers up. I was actually looking at my phone for this one, but my phone is too porous on the back because I have an otter case, so it wouldn't hold the sticker well. But I was like, where can I put this thing? Because this is an amazing look. This is like, and that's the art by Galen Dara. Actually, if you don't know who she is, you can look her up. It's Galen Dara's GALEN DARA. She's an award-winning artist that does covers for sci-fi and fantasy books. She's an amazing, amazing artist. This is our Zazzle store. Go there, and click on that link. Use that reference number, and go get some swag, guys. Yeah, because this swag is just amazing looking. It's just more of the same is happening. So, let's see. Dan says, "What if Dex teleported a broccoli-fueled peaches into the Grand Council HQ? Surely surrender would. If they made it that far to get a gas mask, Dan, oh no, a broccoli-fueled peaches is a dangerous thing. So yeah, I thought it was fun bringing the death thing back. Huge shout out to Tammy and Larry for that, because that the death thing was definitely germinated in their very twisted minds. So, and I thought it was great bringing the death thing back as a strategy this time. So that was awesome. Paige says a fan created his own DW enhanced blend and calls it Kaffeeklatsch. That's Alex Polak, I believe, right? I forgot what's in it. Beyond DW and Valhalla Java, and I think there's a British band. Yeah, Throw Punch. Yeah, I think it's Alex or Alec. Kaffeeklatsch is dangerous. He sent me a whole bunch of it, and it's dangerous. Yeah, Kaffeeklatsch is dangerous. Let's see. I use the boards and plastic bags for my comic books too. Oh yeah, you have to. That's the only way you're gonna preserve them for sure. The stickers look fantastic. I was really impressed. That would be against Geneva Conventions, any other like Warsaw Pact, any other. It would be a war crime to do that. Yeah, that would be a war crime. Yeah, Alex Polak. He had made a huge batch of Kaffeeklatsch and he sent me some. I think I still have a lot of it left because it's great, but it's not Death Wish, so it was okay. It was good though, but it's also like potent. It's really potent. Okay, for Patreon, you guys are awesome. Your patrons are fantastic. So for Patreon, we have new patrons. We have Patrick Hurley, Krista Fox, and Amber Dawn Sessler increased her tier. And to promo for our authors, let's do this now because I don't want to forget, right? This is our Patreon. So go to our Patreon, guys. Sign up if you haven't already, or suggest it to people to sign up. You can sign up for free. What matters is that you sign up and you're part of you get perks for being even for the free tier. It's fantastic. So our new author for promos is John Corwin. Can we get the link for John? This is John Corwin. Let's see what he's doing. So you know what it is, right? This is Amos Caver book 6, Dead Run. So go there and get this book, because you know what we do, right? We support our indie authors. And if you've been noticing, I'm going to put the Patreon link back up because I'm going to keep promoting our Patreon link. And John Corwin's link will be up in the MoB later on. Every Thursday now we support our indie authors because we've been saying it for so long, but it was time. You know, this was Dolly's idea, which is a fantastic idea. It was time to kind of actually put some action behind those words. And so even though I support indie authors, and I know a lot of you support indie authors, we wanted to have something to showcase the indie authors every week. So there's a long list of indie authors that you'll be seeing every Thursday a book, and you'll be seeing a book that they've created, and we support our indie authors. So it's awesome. Say again? Especially the MoB authors that are, indie authors. I don't want to be biased, but I am, because the authors that are in the MoB have a special place for me because they're in the MoB. But I also know all of them. I don't think there's any in the MoB that I don't know personally, that I actually have interacted with personally. So our MoB authors that are indie authors will always have a preference for me because they're MoB authors, MoB indie authors. So yes, it's huge. And we want to make sure that they get readers, which is an important thing. Every author needs readers. So John's book, I'll put it up again. I'm sorry if I'm bouncing between links, but these links will be up. The author links will be up in the MoB. So John's book, in case you didn't see it, is Amos Caver book 6, and it's called Dead Run. So go there, go to that link, and get his book, please. Okay? And we'll put the Patreon link for a little longer. Paige says, Alex uses Kaffeeklatsch brew to make vodka getting. Oof, that's just scary. Yeah. Take care, Chris. Have a good procedure, and keep me posted when you get back. As soon as you can kind of, let us know, please do. I hope everything goes smoothly and that your recovery is, is seamless. It's, smooth, and everything is well. And that as you're back and you're walking and running marathons and hiking mountains and all that fun stuff. So, but in the meantime, rest and have a speedy recovery. Okay. All right. So one of the things I also wanted to kind of share with you guys, because we have so many amazing things here. So Outcast, if you haven't left a review, please do, because it helps the book with social proof. And the social proof is like, hey, I read this book. I thought it was great. You may think it's great too. And it might help a reader who may not be familiar with the series make up their mind. So those reviews help in that way. Okay, it creates that social proof. And also, we've created signed paperbacks. So if you want a signed paperback and you go for a signed paperback now, you also get this. Oh, I have it the wrong way. You get this button. Oh, I was giving Dolly grief about it's offset. It's not straight. So you get this button. It's weird because things are reversed on the camera, right? For every signed paperback that you get, like if you get the signed paperback, we include an M&S button, and the M&S button is awesome. I should start wearing M&S buttons.
Offset.
I said offset. It means like it's not straight. It's like this.
You can turn it with it.
I know. I'm talking me putting it on screen. Like I was telling you on the image. It's got to be straight up and down. It can't be off to the side. Remember?
Yes.
Remember that? So she put this button on the cover of the book, but she put it like this. Right? Let me see if I can get it in there. She put it this way. And I said, that's distracting. Put it straight up and down. She said, no, but it looks good like this.
It's an aesthetic choice.
It's an aesthetic choice, yeah. And I'm like, because this is my graphic design brain, that certain things have to be a certain way. And if you're going to do it like this, it has to be an intentional reason, right?
It's totally intentional.
So she totally intentionally put it off to the side just to throw my brain off.
It took like 500 pictures to get the angle right.
Could have put it like this, could have put it like that. Anyway, so when you get a signed copy, you get one of these, which is awesome because these things are fantastic and they're pretty sturdy. They're metal. Whoa. Okay. And I just lost it, but I'm gonna step on it later. Okay. So get yourself a signed book and get yourself a button too. Here's the link to get the signed book. I think that's a great button to have. Let me just get it really quick because I don't want to step on a pin. All right. Here it is. Okay. That's my button. That sits on my desk, on my little area of writing stuff. Okay. Well, where were we? Yeah, so please, if you get a signed copy, you get a button included, which is, I think, fantastic. So what's going on? Because, wow, oh God, it's already 12:10. How did this happen? What have you done? Okay, so Outcast is doing really well, and I want to thank you all for that. And if you're watching this show and it's recorded, I want to send a huge thank you to you. I know sometimes life happens and you can't watch the show um, as it's happening live. But if you watch it recorded, I appreciate you watching it, even though it's recorded. I think it's awesome that you're watching it after the fact, and you're welcome to be here. And you may not be here in the Kaffeeklatsch as it's happening, but you're still part of our Kaffeeklatsch. So thank you for watching the show, even if it's recorded. Movie talk. I think I'm gonna subject Dolly to The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey, and I think the show. Have any of you seen the show on Netflix, The Gentleman? The one that has Gus, not Gus, but Gianfranco, as the bad guy. I think that I hear good things about it, but I'll have to watch the movie first because the movie is really good. So if any of you have watched the show, let me know. I think it's only like 8 episodes. And yes, I'm sad to say that the search for a good K-drama continues. Apparently, no, we have Alchemy of Souls.
Yes.
Alchemy of Souls. That's the next one that we're watching. But Mr. Queen, I think, spoiled us. At least it spoiled me, because not every K-drama I watch, I compare it to Mr. Queen, and I'm like, it's not that good, or it's not cast properly, or there's always something. But Alchemy of Souls, Dolly likes her. You like that Alchemy of Souls?
I liked it.
Yeah. So we'll be doing Alchemy of Souls. It's a really good show.
It was good.
Yeah. Good effects.
Very good.
Yeah, good effects, good casting.
The
setting.
clothing, the costumes.
I highly recommend Alchemy of Souls if you haven't watched it. It's really good. We'll do that. So what am I working on now? Death Dancers, which means I'm back in space with the Blackjacks, with Jack Noir and the Blackjacks, and that's been a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Yeah, which one? The Gentleman. Okay, I saw a snippet of the first episode and it looked interesting, but I don't think I want to have Dolly watch the show before the movie. I think you have to watch the movie first. That's my opinion. Maybe you guys know. I think you have to watch the movie first before you can watch the show, because there's a lot of stuff that happens in the movie that seems to be explained in the show. You guys tell me. So I'm working on Death Dancers, which means I'm writing sci-fi right now. I'm in space with the Dread Warlock and Daisy, the sentient AI. And it's been a lot of fun doing that. And I think that'll be done before the end of this month. So that's gonna go out, and that'll be a lot of fun. Then I jump into Stone, which already has been started, which is John King book 2. And that is it's been interesting, but it'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll be a nice sequel to the 10-year hiatus from the first book. Jeez. God. The new Patreon story for September, the end of September, the Bureau is slowly. I'm already. Did I show you? Did I send you the chapter first? The first chapter?
Yes.
I'm already on the second chapter.
They're chapters.
There's chapters. So Patreon stories. One of the criteria for the Patreon stories that I've set for myself is that these are mini stories. They're fiction, like mini fiction, right? They're all fiction. But these are mini fiction stories. I don't want to write long Patreon stories, because then it becomes writing another book or novella. But some stories, you know how it is. They get feral and they start going. The Bureau, I don't know what, because I started saying I'm not gonna make this a big thing. It's not gonna be a big world. It's just gonna be a story. You're gonna have a snippet of the story or a snapshot of the world. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm into it now. So the Bureau, I think, is going to end up being. And Dolly was telling me, you can't keep doing this. You gotta stop. Starting series. It's hard to not start series. Yeah, Michelle, I might have to do a serial, but then all the Patreon stories are gonna be the Bureau. I don't know if I want to do that. I might do like maybe 3 Bureau stories or something like that. Like they're all the Patreon stories for a certain amount of time will be the Bureau stories, which would be a lot of fun actually, because it becomes kind of episodic, I love episodic stories like that. I mean, if you grew up collecting comics like me, you love episodic stories. So I might have to do that with the Bureau just because it's so intriguing, and the premise of it is putting. I don't know if I can. I tell you the premise. Should I tell them the premise?
Of course.
The premise is you have a light mage and a dark mage working cases together, and when I say light and dark, like one is good and one is not good, but they through a pact that's been created, they can't attack each other. They have to cooperate and they work together to solve cases, and it's really a really fun premise, and it's turning out to be a really good story.
It's kind of like Good Omens.
Yeah, it's kind of like Good Omens. Kind of like Good Omens, right? Yeah. Let's see, like Ilona Andrew in Keeper, once or twice a year, like special events. Oh, I subscribe to Ilona Andrews' newsletter. Once or twice a year, like special. Oh, I guess I could do that, or I guess I could do it like maybe every other Patreon, because Patreon only comes out. The way I have it set up, the schedule is that it's every 3 months, so it could be something like that too. So we'll see. We'll see. I like to use the Patreon stories for things that I wouldn't normally write, or characters that kind of get into my head and don't leave me alone. And so you need to write me, or you need to write the story. And like Peanut was one of those characters. And that was a really good imagination creation with Peanut. So we'll see. I think the Bureau is going to have legs. I keep telling Dolly, yes, I think it has legs. I think it's going to be a fun story. And I think it might develop into a novella or more. We'll see. I have to write the story. It'll be out for the end of September. And you guys tell me if actually I'm gonna inquire of the mob and the readers if they want to see more of the characters from the Bureau. I like it, so we'll see. But that's me. I if I'm writing it, I enjoy it. I don't think I've ever written something I don't like. The only thing that I was hesitant to write, and Dolly's gonna laugh, was the romantasy, and that's only because me and romantasy was still having. I got one book out, so I'm gonna start working on the second book soon. So it'll be out this year, I think. So for sure, we'll get it out. So one way or another, we'll get it out. All right. So for the NS, you guys have been waiting for the audiobook. We're up to Blood Lessons, which is book 17 in the audiobooks. And we're actually, the written books are book 24. So there's a little bit of lag. I'm looking this way. That's the list of the books that I have and the ones that are coming. So Blood Lessons should be out by the end of this month, right? By the end of September, not this month. By the end of September. My apologies. By the end of September, Blood Lessons, the audiobook should be out. And then we're just going to move into the next book, which is Broken Magic. Ooh, that was a good book. I like how I say that. That was a good book. Like I didn't write it. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that was a really right. That was the one with like 3 books together. I remember way back when. Like Broken Magic, Lost Runes, Archmage, and Entropy. Fun little mini series within the series. So Broken Magic is right after Blood Lessons. So that'll be an interest. I want to hear Kevin do that narration. That's gonna be fun to hear. Okay. All right. So that's on the audiobook front. You can pre-order the audio. Is there a link to pre-order the audiobook? Oh, I have a link for you guys. Doug is going to provide it shortly. You can pre-order the audiobook, and and then you can get the next one. Here's the link. It's on our website. So this is the link. Go there, and you can pre-order Blood Lessons. Is it on sale anymore? No.
Yeah.
It's on sale, guys. Jump on this. Dan says, I still think about the potential awesomeosity of Roland. Roland is a great character. A lot of those characters aren't gone. They're just kind of hanging out. You know what I mean? But they're not gone because they're still rolling around in my head. The audiobook is currently discounted for pre-order. So go grab one. Guys, just go grab one. Anthony says the mark of a good author is when they enjoy their own work, the books they want to. Yeah, I really like. So here's my problem sometimes, especially with, and I know this happens to you shredders a lot too, because it happens to me. You start shredding. Okay, I'll tell you what happens to me. I start shredding. I'm getting into the book. A lot of you guys leave amazing notes, and a lot of them. But I'll start. So I'll do the note. I'll take. I'm gonna shout you out, Paige, because you leave a lot of notes in the shred. So I'll do like one of Paige's notes, and I'm on whatever chapter, and I do the note, and then I'll keep reading. And then when I realize it's like 20 minutes later, and I'm still reading the story, and it's like, oh, I'm doing notes. I'm supposed to be shredding this. What's going on? I gotta go back to where the original note was. And this happens to me all the time when I'm shredding, because I get lost in the story. And I tell this to Doll, he's like, yeah, but you wrote the story. Like, yeah, I wrote the story, but you get lost in it. It's crazy. Okay, let's move on. We have questions. You ready for your questions? All right. So before anything, I want to say thank you guys, because the questions are awesome. I always appreciate the questions. Let's see, they're over here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. First questions are from our question queen, Audrey, because her streak is ongoing. She's got to create a plaque for Audrey, you know? All right. So the first question is, what is the best music decade? Jeez. So I'm old in many senses, right? So I have many music decades that were the best. So I would say the rock and roll decade, I was still a baby then. So late 50s, early 60s was amazing. I grew up at the inception of disco and the inception of like metal and a lot of rock. So the 70s. 80s was mostly disco. So I liked music then, but I wasn't so into it. And after the 80s, 90s, I kind of appreciate all music. I have a very eclectic taste in music. And so I can kind of listen to everything. And I mean, kind of everything. I'll listen from trance music to Disturbed to, geez, it runs the gamut to the point where I can even listen to like awesome Bollywood music, because we've watched some music with like RRR. The music in RRR is amazing. If you haven't seen that movie and you want to see amazing choreography and just a fun movie and some great effects too, when he fights the tiger and things like that. And on the bridge, oh yeah, with the rope. Yeah, listen, if you like Bollywood movies, and I guess this is the movie episode of MoB Kaffeeklatsch, you got RRR, which is a great Bollywood movie.
It's technically Tollywood.
Because it's Tollywood, right? Tollywood, sorry. But yeah, watch that movie, RRR, and it really is 3 R's together. R and go. It's not pirates. There's no pirates in it. So, but my music taste in terms of the decades runs basically from when I was born in the 60s to present. I can listen to music from all ranges and kind of everything. It's just amazing for me I can appreciate all kinds of music. And I really grew up listening to like Benny Goodman, because my dad loved big bands, and classical music. My dad loved classical music, and I would listen to classical music all the time. So yeah. Connie, thank you so much for being here. See you. So the next MoB Kaffeeklatsch is what? The 3rd, August 30th. Because the 23rd, I'm going to be in Massachusetts. So August 30th, guys. So I won't be here in 2 weeks. So we're going to push it to the last week of August. So just a reminder, I'll say it again at the end. So that's my answer, Audrey, for the best music decade. I think music from the 50s to present, every decade is a good decade. See, Michelle's 80s was not just disco. We had a lot of rock. Yeah, we had Van Halen, Kiss, AC/DC, Metallica was 90s, grunge. There was a lot of good music in all those decades, yeah. And all different genres of music. It was awesome. So yeah, definitely it was just everything. It was a little bit of everything. I could listen to everything. And don't forget the kind of new age, and I would listen to, those all Depeche Mode and the kind of different types of music as well. So yeah. I say listen, if you're open, you can listen to pretty much every kind of music. And that's not even talking about culturally, because I'm Latin, so there's a lot of Spanish music that I listen to as well. And salsa and merengue, and there's a whole that's a whole different gamut of music, a lot of groups of music. All right. That was a great question, Audrey. Thank you. Dolly, you meet your 19-year-old self. You're allowed to say 3 words. What are they? And it's not those 3 words. What are they?
So, my 3 words, one of them is 2 words that are stuck together.
Okay. It sounds like a loophole. It sounds like loopholes.
I would say put yourself out there.
That's not 3 words. Put yourself
Isn't
out
it?
there.
Out there is 2 words. Out there. Put yourself out there.
Put yourself out there. And this 19-year-old, you going to understand that? Put yourself out there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So those are her 3 words, Audrey. Put yourself out there. Out there's 1 word?
Yes.
Really? Out there's 1 word. Out there.
Out there.
Oh, okay. Put yourself out there. There you go. Well, yeah, in regards to like ambient, folk, rock, I also listen to a lot of this is the music that Dolly can't sleep to, that I can sleep to. I listen to a lot of Japanese meditation music just because of my martial arts background. And she can't sleep with it because it has koto, which is an instrument, and sometimes it sounds quiet and then it goes boom.
You can't either.
Well, yeah, I can't
You
either.
can't either.
There are times when I can, but most of the times it is jarring. And so you're getting into the meditative state, and then they pluck some string. You're like, what, where? So, but yeah, so I listen to all kinds of different music. Okay, Orlando, next question from Audrey. What was your hardest scene to write and why? I think I need some context because each book has hard scenes, but the hardest scene to write ever. Huh? Act? You think so? Act was tough. Yeah, anytime. Okay. The hardest scene to write recently, I'll give you Outcast as an example. Not really Outcast. Prior to Outcast, Immortal, where Kali is showing Simon the natural outcome of certain things, and where he and Peaches are fighting the Shadow Hounds. That was a hard scene to write. Anytime Peaches is in trouble or his demise is imminent, that those are hard scenes to write. Scenes where in like in Homecoming and with Connor, that was when I have to write death that involves the family, that involves a family like that. Those are hard scenes to write, or the family's in danger, because that's kind of central to who I am. So I try to push myself out of that comfort zone to write those scenes because I have to. And those are hard scenes to write whenever a family member is in danger. If you know me well, you know that for me, family is very, very important. So anytime family's in danger or things like that, and you'll see that that's kind of the dynamic of Monty and Strong and most of the stories I write. It's found family, created family. So anytime I have to put any of that family in danger, it's a hard scene for me personally. Do I do it? Yeah, I still do it, and I still torture you guys, and I'll still put Peaches in danger, but it's still hard for me to write. So yeah, that was the hardest thing to write. The hardest scene ever to write is when I first tried to kill Peaches. That was the hardest scene to write because I thought, well, I didn't think Peaches was going to continue in the story, in the series. And then I realized I can't kill Peaches. It just doesn't happen. So then I went into the other direction, and I'm making Peaches basically indestructible unless you feed him broccoli-laced sausage. But that's about it. Yeah. Yeah. That would be the hardest scene for me to write. In terms of technically difficult, I would say Fafu, Fate of Fury, trying to balance the romance aspect with the action aspect and the urban aspect, the urban fantasy aspect, and trying to kind of strike a balance with all of that when I'm used to heavily being just an urban fantasy and a different interaction between characters. Those scenes are hard for me to write, but it's more from a technical point of view. From just the fact, from an emotional point of view, yeah, anytime anyone has to die, that's a hard scene. Those are hard scenes to write. Hard scenes to even think about. Or any scene where You know what was really hard for me to write? The first Peanut Patreon story, where she was like they were gonna,
They were gonna erase her.
yeah, when they were gonna erase. I'm sorry, you guys. This is a Patreon story. There's a Patreon story with Peanut in it. I'm sorry if I put this out there. And she was in danger, and that was a hard scene for me to write. But it's a good story, though. It's a good story. All right. Thank you, Audrey. Those are fantastic questions. You guys and your questions are.
Where's Peanut in the second? Because in the second one, she's also in danger.
Yeah, but the second one wasn't. It was a different in danger because she wasn't alone. She had Kai. The first one was just her, and Dex had to discover. Dex and the Morgan found her. So I would say the first one. Yeah. So next question. What from Chris Mendoza, who I hope is gonna have a very good procedure today. What is your favorite time of day? Chris's preference is the early morning dawn, right before sunup. My favorite time of day, I would have to say, is really early in the morning, but I get up really early in the morning because that's just me. I like to get up 3, 4 in the morning to train. But I like that time of the day because for me, it feels like the world is still sleeping. Like people, like at least the city that I'm in, still feels like it's still sleeping at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So it's really quiet. There's no noise. No one's awake. I'm the only one, and I kind of have my thoughts to myself, and I have the space, all the space around me to myself. So, and surprisingly, it's not the time that I write. That's the time that I train. I kind of like that kind of quiet to be able to train and just kind of be with myself. And so that's my favorite time of day in terms of that. So I like to wake up really early for that, to experience that. But then the rest of I enjoy all times of day, but that's my favorite time of day, the early morning. Michelle?
Are you sure that's your correct answer?
Why?
Wouldn't your answer be my favorite time of day is any time I spend with my
Darling,
wife?
yes. That's the original answer. Any time of day I spend with my wife. That is the PC correct answer. Yeah. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it. Michelle, have a great day. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. The kids start school Monday. Wow. All right. So hope we can get everything ready because that's soon. That is really. We don't have that until what, September, right? Yeah, we're not looking at that until September. So okay. Anthony says TK and Monty knew immediately what that thing was. So at some point, did Hades give Cerberus? No, they just know. They just know if you make that combination of broccoli and hellhound digestive system, you're risking your life. So they know. Dan says this regarding Dexberry and Connor behind the scenes. Is he still fizzing about this and playing the longer game? I don't want to say it's tied off because it's not, but it ties into what Dex did with the Golden Circle. So if you start connecting the dots as what Dex did with the Golden Circle and the creation of the School of Battle Magic, you'll see what's kind of happening. You can start putting things together. So it's not completely tied off. And Dex is known for playing the much longer game. If you look at Outcast and how everything fell into place the way it did, and I don't want to spoil anything, and the way that it fell into place because of Dex, you'll see that he's very good at playing a long game. And he didn't get to be an old mage by accident. He gets to be an old mage by being sneaky, conniving, and smart. Yeah. All right, we got 5 minutes. So if you guys have questions, I don't think I have anything else. This is the time to ask them. So if you have any questions, like you have a question about Outcast, I'll try and answer it, but there are some people who haven't finished, so I'll try and answer it without spoiling, if possible. And if I can't answer it here without spoiling, you can always send me a PM and then I'll try and answer it there. Yeah. Oh, Michelle's not here, but there was a lot of good music in the 80s. I'm trying to remember. Like, I loved Van Halen growing up. AC/DC, awesome. Aerosmith was also really good. Motley Crue, I enjoyed. Yeah. So, and just so you guys know, it's just all that music is really awesome. So, and let me see if we have any other questions. Okay. And a huge shout out to our resident technomancer because getting procedures is never fun. It's never easy. But just want you to know that you're being missed, Chris. Your technomancy is being missed, and that we want you to have a great surgery, and that you can start moving without any kind of obstacles or pain. That you're feeling much better, and you have a speedy recovery. We miss you here, Chris. We miss you. So, any questions, guys? Because I'm gonna try and close in the next 3 or 4 minutes, and yeah. So just to reiterate, and I'll put it up so you guys know. The next Kaffeeklatsch should be on the 30th, and I had it set up. I really want to start our creative warrior wisdom, the 5-minute kind of shows that we have, and I'm just gonna start doing it because I want to start kind of doing it regularly, So let's see what happens with that. And I'm gonna use I have the book now for it. It's a book on Stoicism. It's not Ryan Holiday's book. It's another one, but they have great little ideas, Stoic ideas that I can develop into a 5-minute episode, talk about it and things like that. So that's what's coming with the Creative Warrior Wisdom. So we'll do that, and I'll jump on that. I don't know if I told you guys. I think I did in the MoB, but I got a rower and it's kicking my butt. Can't believe that a rower is destroying me. I did some rowing yesterday, and I'm walking around like I'm ancient. And rowing was surprisingly, I had rowed before in the past, but rowing it surprised me in being very vigorous. But the goal is 5,000 meters, which is about 3 miles. And trying to do that in a reasonable time, not making it take an hour. So 5,000 meters, I think I could pull it off in 30 minutes. 5,000 meters. We'll see. All right, guys. We're about to close. So if you have any questions, anything you want to say, this is the time to do it. If not, we're going to close it up. And we'll be back here on the 30th. And I'll see you guys inside the MoB. And we'll do our things as always. Went from a computer need to ripped. Oh, computer nerd to ripped. Yeah, I hear rowing is very good for your cardio and for your body and your development. So rowing it's a lot tougher than I expected. Put it that way. Let's see. Thanks for an absolute awesome hang. Same to you, Mr. Dan, the awesome, the wordsmith. Have an amazing weekend, Dan. It's great to see you here, and we'll do some talking about the man soon. Back to work, Anthony. Don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble. I want to thank you all. Listen, as always, guys, because it's time. Let's close, and I'm gonna close, and then my closer, the official closer, is gonna come close too. So, the 3 B's: be kind, be unstoppable, be uncommon. Thank you so much for being here. We can't do these episodes without you, and I really appreciate that you're here and hanging out with us. And I want us to one day really be able to all sit in one place, have some coffee or tea or whatever it is you drink, and just talk about everything. Come closer.
Thank you for coming to MoB Kaffeeklatsch, episode 124, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. That was very nice. Well done. Very well done. All right, guys, take care. There's only 11 of you left here. So out of you 11, let's get some numbers so we can close it out with the closing music. From 1 to 7, the first 10, 5. Because it's not that, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, the first 5 people, 1 to 7, go. What are you doing?
Okay, bye. Are you still live?
Yeah, we're still live. It looks like, what's it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. All right. Let's put 4. 4. 4. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Enjoy it. If it's pouring out where you are, be safe. Okay. And see you in 2 weeks.